Right, so I thought that today, the theme of today's Photoshop and Chill would be like weird or just off kilter because I feel like that's how the world felt lately. So there's one strategy or one tool that came to my mind immediately. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the content aware fill tool, but it's something that I haven't really been using in much of the work that I've been posting lately. I've used it a few times. I really like it when I want to just make something totally strange because, like, for example, if I were to, okay, let's see. Sorry about that, Lee. Let me see what I can do about that. Off the music. Is that any better, Lee? Better? Well, I'll try to speak loud using the camera here. Is that better with the, I'm trying to speak a little bit louder. Okay. Okay, good. I think just the music is weird. Okay. So, all right, so content aware fill is, do you guys know what content aware fill is? Have you guys used it at all? Well, anyway, I can just do a quick demo of it. Flowers here, like that. So then you can take selection around it. I'm going to use the lasso tool. And then you can right click it, and fill. Then the option, the default option will be content aware up here for contents. So what that means is Photoshop's going to analyze that area and it's going to fill in that spot based on what's around it to make it look natural and as possible. So I'll say okay, it, and then get rid of that. So like if you have like you have an element that you don't want in the photo, you can use it to get rid of it and make it as looking as possible. So that's what it was originally made for, but what I really like to do, I'm just not going to do. So what I like to do with content aware, okay. Okay, sorry about that. Let me see what I can do. Let me get my headphones and I'll try to do it through my headphones. Good to know for the future. La, la, la. Yeah. So bearing with me, guys. It just else. Okay, is this any better? Okay, perfect. Okay, yay, thanks for letting me go know, guys, and now I know what to choose in the future.
So then it sounds good. Okay, so I don't need to use these. All right, so, okay, yay, great. So, okay, so I just showed you guys what content aware fill is intended for. And what I actually like to do with content aware fill is confuse it and make it just do way too much work for what it's meant for. And then the results I think are pretty cool and pretty eerie and strange sometimes, especially if you're working with a photo of a person, because that's the best way to give off strange vibes, is to mess with the photo of a human, because we relate to photos of the human the most. And let me find that. Where is that photo? Arrange, consolidate all the tabs. What was that photo? Okay, so for example, actually, let me do this photo. So to use content aware fill, like I said, you can just make a selection around what you want to get rid of. But for example, if I'm going to do like a selection of half her face and part of her body and part of the background and maybe part of her hand and just this weird random abstract shape. So now we have this selected, and I'm going to go ahead and right click it and say fill like we did before, and then do content aware, and then you never know what you're going to get. And that's my favorite process, one of my favorite things. I just love the feeling of, you know, it's out of my hands. Let's see what happens. So it's thinking this for a second. It has to think quite a bit because it's like, what's going on here? This is not normal. This is not what I'm used to analyzing. All right. So that's one option. What do you guys think of that? That's pretty strange, right? I think this is interesting. I think we could do better. I think we could get something a little bit more interesting even. So I'm gonna Control Z to undo, and then Control D to deselect. Let's see if we could do more with like just her face-ish area. That's pretty strange. I kind of like that. Yeah, so that's, oh, what just happened? I just moved it. All right, so that's one possibility. And I can go to this one and try something with this one too. I think it works best when there's more of a face, but maybe not. Yeah, when you have like double or triple eyes. Yeah, so you're gonna make a selection and then right click and choose fill. Make sure you're on the layer that the photo is actually on if you have multiple layers. I think, so I'm pretty sure that I'm recording right now. So I can send you guys a recording of this if you want to take a look at it later, just so we can make sure that we get to actually finishing a piece. Yeah, so I'm recording, so I can send you guys the recording afterwards. Yeah. All right, so I'm gonna see what else I can do with this one. Dun, 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 dun. Do you guys ever just sing when you're making stuff? Thinking hard. Yep. Talking, singing. Feels good. It's like you're letting your mouth just put out into the universe whatever's going on in your head. That's pretty cool. I like that better. Okay, let's see. Yeah, that's a good strategy. Okay, so I don't know. This is kind of weird, but that's the idea, and I like it. And I'm going to now select her. And I like to use the magic, the quick selection tool. I'm not huge. I'm personally not huge on making really accurate, super precise selections like some other Photoshop artists are. I'm more about, the process and just having fun with it. Sometimes something calls for being more accurate, but I kind of like, leaving part of my process up to Photoshop and how it processes things. So I'm going to use the quick selection tool, and I'm going to choose select and mask, because sometimes if you look closely on the edges of the quick selection tool, they'll be kind of like not really sharp and a little bit jagged and strange, which is okay sometimes, but right now I'm going to smooth it out a little bit, and I don't have a formula for this. I just, drag the sliders up a little bit. And that's good enough for me. I don't know why the photo just came back. Okay. And then we're going to mask it. That's all right. Take that out. That part. Oops. And now I'm working in the mask on black so that I can get rid of this extra line here. Minor detail, and then I'm just gonna erase like this so her head looks rounder. So how often do you guys use Photoshop, or what's your process like? What do you use Photoshop for? I'm going to take her into this place here. Make it a little bit smaller. Oh my goodness. Okay. Oh yeah. Vintage images are really fun. You do you feel like you're giving life to people who are not around anymore? That's what I feel like sometimes. Or okay, that's cool. Yeah, that's really cool. Oh yeah, drawing on photos is fun. Yeah, it must be interesting to use photos of yourself. I haven't really done much of that myself. Let's see. Okay, well, why don't you guys, I'll let you guys choose. What do you want to bring in next? Do you want to bring in a building, a bird, flowers? I want to maybe save this cat for something else. I feel like it's going to be a little bit trickier. Okay. Let's do the bird then. Yeah, we could try the same effect. Or we could just cut it out. I don't know. Let's see what happens. I can show you. Okay. Let's see what happens. Okay. I'm gonna use a different selection tool. The fun swirly things, we can go and I think I can do a little bit of that later. I can show you the beginning of that process. Oh no, this is going to be really weird. Oh my gosh. I don't know how I feel about that. Maybe we just leave the bird intact. Okay, let's just do the quick select. Or another good way to select something is, especially when it's on a like a very plain background like this, is to go up to select and subject. That's pretty good. I caught it pretty well. And then just mask it. Excuse me, got the branch too. Untitled one. Yeah. I'm not sure if I want to keep her in the final piece. We'll see. Maybe we'll just do it more nature themed. Okay, I'm gonna bring the building in next. Do select. Let's just do subject. All right. I think that's pretty cool, like how it kind of cuts off at the end when you just do the subject selection, because it doesn't really know where to end the selection, so it chooses for you. And I think that's really cool. So maybe we make more of that the focus. Yes. Okay. I can keep her in for now. She can stay for now. I don't know if ultimately she's going to stay, but okay. Flat iron's looking good. What do we want to do with the bird and the flat iron? Turn it around. I'm going to bring the bird in front of the building. What about that? I like that. Actually, I don't want to make that much smaller. All right. All right, how about some flowers? I'm going to get the quick select tool for this because I like the kind of random shape of the selection. I'm curious what the subject selection tool will do. Couldn't find prominent object. No prominent object, yeah. Okay. Let's try. Okay, we're gonna hide the lady for now. We're gonna hide the lady just for now. What if I put the bird towards the top of the building? there's something here. What do you guys think? Should we leave the branch or get rid of it? What would you guys do? Okay. Yeah, I agree. I sort of feel like there needs to be a surface or like a connection somewhere. Maybe on the flowers. Bring back the branch maybe if we want to later. You guys know the keyboard shortcut for the brush size? That's something I recommend getting the hang of. Just, yep, left bracket, right bracket. I love that one. That's good to know. Okay, maybe we bring the building back. Hey! Okay, cool. That's really cool to hear, Alexandra. I'm glad that you're enjoying it. I kind of like the building small. You can always bring it in the same building, but where is it? Double. Okay, so I think what I want to do is kind of get a little bit funky with this. I'm gonna take maybe one of the buildings, and let's try the first one that we put in. And do you guys know adjustment layers at all? Okay. All right. Awesomely. It's a good skill to know for sure. Okay, so I'm gonna do a a hue adjustment. Yep. I'm gonna color the buildings. So, okay, cool. So we're both at least sort of familiar with them. So I went ahead and made a hue and saturation adjustment layer here above this layer for our smaller building. And first thing I'm gonna do, you don't have to do this first, you can do it before or after you change the color, but I clip it. And the way that you do that is you can either in your properties panel for this layer, when you click on the adjustment layer, you can either click on this little icon here, which is clipping, or the way I usually do it is you hold down Alt or Option. I forget which one it is. Sometimes I just have to try a couple shortcuts before I have the right one. Yeah, so it's Option, which I think would be Alt on a PC, and you go between the layers that you want to clip to each other, and you click, and now it's clipped. You see the little arrow, and now you can start making this adjustment. It'll apply only to that layer that it's clipped on. So we've got a green building. We've got, I'm gonna make it lighter. Maybe I just want to make it, it's the bird. You know what? I'm gonna do a curves layer too, curves adjustment for the same thing. You can have multiple adjustment layers clipped to an image. I'm gonna make it brighter. And then I'm gonna go back to hue saturation. I don't like the lightness as much. So I'm feeling like a blue, but I want it to be more vibrant. So I'm gonna up the saturation. Or maybe we can make it the same color as the bird. Ish. There are other ways to get more accurate with this, but okay, let's just stick with this. Or maybe a little bluer. Dun, 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 dun. Okay. Okay, so that's one color building, and we can do some coloring with the swirly colors on the other building, so you can see a little bit of that. Okay, so let's hide the bird. Time is at 5:30. Okay, so we can hide the bird. And are either of you familiar with noise gradients at all? Nope. Okay. I think you're going to enjoy this then. It's pretty fun. So let's just look at yeah. I don't think a lot of people use noise gradients. I don't know why. They're not smooth. And I was like that. I was like you for a really long time. I didn't like noise gradients. I thought they were really ugly. And for years and years and years, I never used them. I always avoided them. I'm like, why does this exist? And I hate these. Okay, I don't hate them, but I just think that they look kind of ugly. But not anymore. I think they're really cool. So I'm gonna make a selection. And you can either make a selection or you can just straight up start doing it and then fill the whole screen. But I like making the selection because then you can play with it later in other ways. Okay, so I have my selection and I'm gonna go ahead and go down to my adjustment layers and I'm going to choose gradient. And oops. So when you're in your gradient panel, your gradient editor, you have a gradient type solid. You can go ahead and click on that and choose noise instead. And here are your options for noise roughness. I'm gonna move that up to like 60, 70, and then you can see how that, you know, the rougher it is, the more defined the lines, the striations, the colors are. And then down here, you can choose which colors you want to have more of. So I don't really want green. I want more, I don't know. Oh, that's pretty cool. I like the blue and the pink and the yellow. Let's see. Okay. And then you can also like add transparency, or which is part of them are going to be transparent, which is a really cool option. And then you can choose to, I'm going to uncheck this because I don't want this right now, but you can also restrict colors, prevent colors from oversaturating. I don't know what their criteria is for oversaturation, but it's an option. So if I uncheck it, it gets, I see what they mean. And again, you can play with like the limits of the color. So if you want less red in there, you can choose, like, you can limit red between here and here, or you want more red, you can limit red between here and here. So I'm gonna just keep it here. And one of my favorite things to do is to randomize. So you can click randomize and it'll just change the value, change the colors pretty much. And that's pretty cool. I like that. I might use that in some more things. And then when you like something, you can click, if you want to save a gradient setting that you found, like this one, you can click new and it'll save it in your panel here. And I recommend exporting that, like selecting them, like shift click a bunch of them and then exporting it and naming it like a set of gradients, because I don't know why, but sometimes they disappear. So this Liat gradients are the ones that I've made for myself and I like to use. Yep. But for some reason, the gradients, I don't know, maybe this is just a my Photoshop thing, but sometimes when I save them to the presets here, when I hit new and then I close Photoshop and then I open Photoshop again, they're not there anymore, which is really frustrating. So I don't know. I just like to make sure that I save my presets. And it's also pretty cool because it's really hard to recreate the same gradient as somebody else. So the only way to really share it is to save it and then send it. You can send individual gradient files. You can, like if I want to click on this one and just say export, it'll take you to the presets folder in your Photoshop, files, and then you can name it. And the .grd is the extension for gradient presets, and it'll save as many as you selected. So right now I only have one selected, but if I were to select more than one, it would also still be called GRD, and it would save it as a set, I believe. So that is a side note for gradients. So yeah, I really like this. So I'm going to press OK. And now, so that was just a gradient editor. So you're choosing the colors, and now in your gradient fill, this is an adjustment layer we're still working on here. You can choose, if you've done gradients before, this is already familiar to you, but radial, angle, reflected, diamond. Reflected's pretty cool. And then, you can do the scale, expand the colors or really contract them. That's pretty cool. That's like kind of like a colorful laser beam. Lasers. Okay, I'm going to bring it back to 100. Okay, I pressed enter. Oops, too soon. And then you can change the angle. But I like to keep it. Okay. I did not use liquify on them. You can use liquify on them. Yeah, you can use liquify on them. I have a different technique that I'm not going to go into right now, but that's the beginning of the process. So noise gradients, I recommend playing around with them. And so let's color this building with this noise gradient. You can make it bigger, you can drag it down, and this gradient is going to, you're welcome, Liam, I'm glad it was interesting to you. So you can make the shape bigger, and it'll look like it's not going to fill it in anymore, but once you press enter, it will fill it in. This thing is upside down. My keyboard cover thing is upside down, I think. Oh no, anyway, okay, so now we have this gradient fill on top of the building. Make sure it's actually on top of the building. It's actually on top of the bird too, so let's bring it under the bird. Okay, so now we can just use some blending modes, or we can, we can use some blending modes, darken. I like to use, this is one way to combine them. I like color might be a good one. The thing with the color blending mode is sometimes the colors do change a little bit when you're blending them down, and I'm gonna clip this gradient to the building. Let's see. This is something called Blend If that I'm doing right now. I don't know exactly how it works. I think it looks cool sometimes. So it's when you go into layer styles, and it's right here, which is pretty cool. Pretty cool. Pretty cool, dudes. Go ahead and make that parallel. Yay, I'm glad. I'm happy you like it. Pretty cool. I should, yeah, I feel like I should experiment more with the blendifying. That's not a thing, but it is now. Yeah, and this way the colors are kind of a little bit more natural. Oh. Sometimes I just sit here and I decide between two different blending modes. I don't know if you guys can relate. Okay. And speaking of gradient or noise gradients, we can bring back the bird. Oh, you know what? I think the bird needs to get a little bit more vibrant. Let's make it more vibrant. So let's put on a hue saturation adjustment. Get more vibrant. Yas queen. Yas queen. And I want the flowers to be different too. You know what? I'm just gonna do. So you can do, if you want to change the color of something, you can do what we've been doing with the adjustment layers and clipping them onto what you're changing them to be. But I'm just gonna do a filter, not filter, image. Where is it? Edit. What am I looking for? Oh, adjustments, image adjustments, and then do hue saturation. And then this is what they call destructive editing, because you can't go back and change this easily, but you know what? Sometimes I like it that way because then I don't need to think about it anymore. We don't want to change lightness. Hue. What I don't like about this, the flower photo, is the greens are a little bit yellow, so I'm going to change just the greens. Maybe more the yellows. Maybe not. What is it? Cyans? Weird. Oh, okay, there we go. Oh, I like that. Give me some bluegrass. Okay. Bluegrass. And then where's my other building? We can put it behind. Well, you know what? I think I want to try applying this to this. I just copied the noise gradient that we made, so I can apply it to this one too. Oops. It's cool. Like that. Give me some of that. psychedelic. Thank you, Alexandra. Maybe the buildings are getting a little bit crowded. No, maybe I'll change the noise gradient on this one. Ooh. I like this one too. I'm gonna save this one. See how we have this one saved from last time? Uh-oh. Okay, it's back. You know what I can do, you guys? After this, I can save these noise gradients that I'm using and I can send them to you and you can install them. To install them, you're gonna go to import and then you're gonna go to wherever you save the gradient file that I can send you. If you guys want, let me know, otherwise there's no point. But yeah, so you'll just save the gradient file anywhere. You don't have to save it in your Photoshop files, but then you'll go to the gradient editor here and you'll import, click on it, and then say open, and it'll show up in your gradient editor. So I'm gonna go back to this one. Okay. Birdie, birdie, birdie. What are we gonna do with birdie? Maybe the branch should be brought back. Okay, so we've got, oh. Let's bring the branch back, y'all. Dun, 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 dun. Dun. Bring back the branch. I use unsplash.com usually, almost exclusively. Sometimes I'll find something on like, what's it called? Pixabay. Yep. I do like the free, but if I were to make something for somebody, especially if they're, you know, investing into it, then I'd, you know, probably go to Adobe Stock or something, or Shutterstock. Yep, yep. Free is good. No, too small. Too small, fam. Okay, well, did we have anything else? Let's maybe add a human quickly. Cat. I don't know. Let's see what happens if I add a cat. This cat is very soft focus, so it might look strange when I just use quick select. But, you know, hey, who cares? I'm going to do select and mask real quick. Oh! What just happened? Hold on, I think Photoshop just crashed. Oh my goodness. Hopefully it recovered it. Sorry, guys. It's pretty good at recovering stuff. Okay. Woo! see. Sorry about that, you guys. Photoshop just crashed, which is super scary and annoying, but I'm glad that it recovered pretty much the last thing that we did. Okay. Where's the chat? Show me the chat. There it is. Okay. So I'm just trying to bring back this branch and good enough. Yeah, how about I save? Good idea, good idea. Okay. Iron, flat iron bird. Let's just say that. Let's just say that. Okay. Well, hey, this is pretty cool. Maybe. Let's see if Photoshop does this again. Well, we have 8 minutes left, so I think we got a good, nice collage, colorful collage done. I'm just not even going to try to select and mask like I was doing when it crashed. Super jagged, but let's see. Flat iron bird. Come on, cat. Look what's happening. Look what's happening. This cat is clipped to this bird. We don't want that. That's what happens when you have a lot of clip layers. And honestly, there are ways to be more neat about it, but that's not my vibe. Well, yes. So did you guys want me to send you this just random cat in there? Honestly, I kind of like it. Like, it's like, what is going on and why am I here? And I'm going to put it behind the flowers. Okay. Huh? This cat's like, huh? Maybe if I just recolor it a little bit, it'll blend in a little bit more. Image. Do you guys want me to send you those gradients or not? Just like the 3 gradients that I just made, and you can load into your own Photoshop. Image rotation, adjustments, hue saturation. Okay, sounds good. Nah, no, I don't know about that, but I mean, we could put a background on it. I sometimes just like to leave things white, but we can do like a quick gradient or something. We can maybe try a gradient, a noise gradient. See, yeah, it really depends. Like sometimes I just like to leave it super simple. You can do like a noise gradient like this. You can make it a little bit less rough. I would probably just put one color on it because that's what I am doing nowadays. Like, or maybe a simple gradient, not like a noise gradient, but like, I don't know. something preset. Sometimes it's just good to, you know, keep it simple. That's pretty cool, but actually kind of like the noise gradient. Boom. I don't know. I honestly might play with this a little bit after we're done here, but you guys get the gist. You get the gist of it. What would I do for this, huh? You know what? I think, okay, I'm going to do something real quick. I think I just want some abstract shapes. That's what I want. You know, just grab your lasso tool, just random shapes. I'm just deselecting until I find a shape that I like. Good enough. Fill that in with some, you know, gradient or something. You know, whatever you want. Basics, blues, basics. I think I want pinks and purples because that will match our flowers. You know, that's good. I like that. You know, just put in a shape, put it in the background, rotate it. You know, do it again. Oops. Make another fill gradient. Maybe. Maybe something like that. Can always play with it more. And I think a little bit of green down here. Try to get more yellow, green or blue. So many options. So many options. Grays. Nah, reds. How about like a noise? Put in some noise. There we go. There we go. Change up the angle. Blam. And then you could just play with the placement a little bit more. Honestly, that cat is kind of my favorite. Okay, well, I am going to leave it at that. So I hope you guys learned something. I hope you guys enjoyed yourselves. Yeah, so this was fun, and I hope to, yeah, I'm glad you thought so, Lee. I'm glad it was valuable for you, and I hope to see you guys in future Photoshop and Chills, future classes. I am going to be doing some actual classes in the future. This is more of a, you know, like Photoshop and Chill, very relaxed, no real goal or anything like that. Yay, I'm glad, Alexandra. And so if you guys enjoyed that or found value, you are welcome to donate if you feel so inclined. You can do it through paypal.me/Liat Noten. I'm putting this in the chat now if you would like, and then Venmo, or if you have some other way you prefer, let me know and I'll let you know if I have it. But yeah. Donating is not required, always appreciated. And other than that, I will get this to you guys, this recording, one way or the other. I have your emails through Zoom, so I might just be sending you an email either from me or via Zoom, not sure exactly, but yeah, so that's it. Hope you guys enjoyed it, or I'm glad that you guys did enjoy it. Don't need the recording, Glee? Okay, cool. So I'll just make sure Alexandra gets it, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Thanks for coming. Bye.